So there has been a rumor going about that for Assassin's Creed Shadows that Yasuke might actually be getting removed from the game. You know, if that's true, then I am one very happy gamer. And it also seems like, you know, not just that, but you know, an Assassin's Creed insider has exposes that, you know, some of Ubisoft's secrets and, you know, other company things. But let me just show you, because today we're going to be reacting to Assassin's Creed Shadows insider exposes Ubisoft plus Yasuke erased, company bankrupt, and secrets revealed. And this is by the YouTube channel ENDYMIONtv. So as always, link to the video and link to the channel both in the description below. Be sure to check them out, and let's get it.
Hey everyone, it's ENDYMION, and recently I've been talking to some sources about Assassin's Creed Shadows behind the scenes and a lot of things that are happening at Ubisoft. And even other game studios as well. And the things that I've been getting told are pretty damning. So with their consent, I've been able to make this video and present you the various things that they've told me.
Now, I've also heard that the game has been pushed back 3 months, or the release date has been pushed back 3 months to February 14th, which is like Valentine's Day. But it's not just Valentine's Day; it's also Black History Month. So it's like Ubisoft is still trying to get that whole. It's like a presidential election where the president does some absurd things just to get the black vote, and it's kind of like that. And so Ubisoft is really, you know, trying to be like, hey, look, we're black and we're proud. Huh? Yeah. It's like, yo, you going too far, Ubisoft. You need to chill out, bruh.
I vetted these sources, and they have indeed worked with Ubisoft for many years, as well as other game studios as well. They've even told me things about games that aren't released yet that I actually can't even say, because I think if I do that, assassins from other studios will probably barrel roll through my window and then take me out John Wick style. So anyways, I will spend this video explaining the absolute state of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Star Wars Outlaws apparently being referred to as Red Dead Star Wars internally, and more.
What?
And there's other stuff that you just gotta hear, because a lot of this is just absolutely insane. So in my previous video, I explained that Paul Tassi of Forbes said in his article about the Ubisoft implosion,
after Assassin's Creed Shadows delay, Ubisoft acknowledges Outlaws' issues, anti-woke pushback.
that those extra months have been given to possibly reduce or even completely remove Yasuke from Assassin's Creed Shadows.
With the Shadows delay, I have seen some talk about how they're using this time to patch out Yasuke. I hope I'm saying that right. Or reduce his role in the game as a result of all this. That's essentially impossible at this point. This is a 3-month delay for a... Okay, yes, it's a 3-month delay, but if they start working on it now, because if the game's not going to come out until February, right? Right now it's September. So if they start working on it now, it gives them a decent amount of time, you know? September, October, November, December, January, February, 5 months. wait. Okay, so maybe it is a little bit impossible, but like technically if they start working on it now, 5 months is still a good amount of time to, you know, take him out of the game. Or let's say they just replace Yasuke with a Japanese man, you know, and that all they have to do is just replace the model of Yasuke and give him a different name, and have the voice actors, you know, go back and reread some lines. So all they have to do is change the model of the character and redo some lines, and that actually, would that, I don't know, because I don't know game development and stuff like that, but would that work? Would that, let me know in the comments below if that's something like that is all they would need to do, like change the character's model and reread some lines, and would that be enough to you know, replace Yasuke with someone else. Instead of just completely removing him, they can just replace him with a Japanese guy, with a Japanese man, and you know, reread some lines. Would that be enough? Let me know in the comments below.
My source told me, however, that they heard February 2025 is simply a placeholder release date as of now. Okay. Apparently, this is because Ubisoft is scrambling and they need certain key talent in order to assist on a Q2 game release. Which, if you don't know what that means, there's 4 quarters to a calendar year, so Q2 means Ubisoft has something that they think will hit that is coming out later in the year that they need help on. So because talent at the studio is working to make that future release come out more smoothly, Shadows is not being given the extra hands it kinda needs right now, so like I said, the release date may actually be pushed back even further. I was also told when they originally saw the game, there was indeed a male Japanese protagonist with their own finalized art and even animations.
Hell yeah!
They don't know if this character will be reintroduced in order to replace Yasuke, but they are skeptical that Ubisoft will actually remove Yasuke altogether due to the whole political, you know, backlash they'll get from journalists and so on.
This is so far this is all good news, because let's be real. As a African American, a black guy living in America, if they made an Assassin's Creed based in Africa, and one of the main characters was a white guy running around killing black people, I'd feel some type of way too. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what the hell is this shit? Get this out of my face. Like, bro, all hell would break loose. But it also seems like they only thought this was a good idea simply because of the, you know, the DEI, you know, the inclusion and shit, and it would tick those boxes, as well as Japan is known for being like having a lot of nice people in it. It's like it's known for being a country full of nice people, and they probably thought Japanese people wouldn't care or would be too nice to say anything about a black guy running around killing Japanese people or killing Asian people. So they probably thought they can get away with it to some degree. But like, the people have been voicing their opinions, thankfully, and people have been, you know, and it looks like it might actually have an effect. And let's be real again. Like, just taking out Yasuke is not going to save this game. Like, we saw with the video about that by Dash Blue, you know, drunk Japanese react to Ubisoft's trailer and stuff like that of Assassin's Creed, or they were hyper analyzing Assassin's Creed trailers. There's so many just incorrect things that have been put into the game, like rice farms, or I forgot the correct terminology for it, but like where they grow rice, like there's no filter for the water to go in, and no filter for like, and no way to put the water for the water to go out, I mean, and no way to put the water in. So like whoever they consulted, it's like they didn't know how those little rice area farm areas were made. It's like they didn't know anything about Japan. And like with this shot right here, I remember the Dash Blue people talking about how these things right here should only be on the tallest building, and it only needs to be at the very top. However, they have it here, they have it everywhere, even on some buildings way down here. And it's like there's so much that's actually just wrong with the game that it's going to, if they actually wanted to save the game, they would have to do more than just take out Yasuke. They would have to course correct so many minor things that they've already put into the game, and fix so many things. They would actually have to get someone who is well versed in Japanese history, an entire team of people that's well versed in Japanese history. Preferably, these people are from Japan and not just people that took a class at a university or a semester at a university. Like, preferably they actually go or get people from Japan who are well versed in their own in Japanese history, so that they can help them fix all the little mistakes that are in this game. So it would take way more than 3 months or 5 months for that. So if they really want to save the game, they have to take out Yasuke and fix all these other issues they have in the game, all these other mistakes.
He did say that the game's first act is heavily story-driven until it eventually opens up to your more traditional open-world Ubisoft experience, and that the big hurdle there, if they were to remove Yasuke, would be to...
And this shit right here, again, I've people in my comments for the Dash Blue reaction, they've told me that, you know, this having Yasuke in full metal armor during the winter, mans would be dead. Mans would be dead. like he would freeze to death so quickly. And even if he's free, and even while he's freezing to death, if he tried to remove the armor, it would take layers of skin off of him because the armor would be sticking to his skin and shit like that. Like, there is no way, there is no reason for him to be wearing this full metal armor outfit in winter. So they would like so even if they replaced Yasuke with an actual with an actual Japanese guy, they would still have to at least change the armor for like or at least what he's wearing in the winter time. I don't know Japanese history, and I don't know what he should actually be wearing as a samurai in winter, but it shouldn't be this.
To practically change almost everything about Act 1, so to speak, if they were to remove the character entirely. So could they remove Yasuke with this already done but thrown aside Japanese character?
Yes.
It's a big maybe, but they said that they weren't sure of it yet. They also told me they heard rumblings that Sweet Baby Inc. may have had a hand in Shadows, but they can't confirm that 100% yet, so take that allegation with a huge big fat shot of skepticism right now, okay?
I don't know, man. I will take it with the skepticism, but now I'm already like, well, now I'm definitely not buying it, because if Sweet Baby Inc. has anything to do with it, we already know, because I just did a reaction, and I don't know if that video is going to come out to before this one comes out, but I just did a reaction to Sweet Baby Inc. members talking a Sweet Baby Inc. member talking about them wanting to burn the game industry to the ground, you know, and replace it with people that are like-minded like them, or that are more indigenous, inclusion, DEI, diversity, equity, or whatever, inclusion, whatever the E stands for, that are like them. So they're trying to ruin all games and game industries just to get their way, just to have their way. So they're trying to destroy what we know and love just so that they can feel, you know, happy. Just so that small percentage of DEI gamers can feel happy. When the mass of gamers does not want anything to do with that shit. So I don't know, man. Now first I was like, all right, if they fix everything, I might play it. But if Sweet Baby Inc. has anything to do with this game, it doesn't matter if they fix everything. I'm not gonna play it anyway.
Okay. Well, like I was saying, the game did first include a male Japanese main character, but they were swapped sometime during 2020, according to my source for Yasuke instead. So this is where stuff gets really weird and pandering, but I asked them what influenced Ubisoft to make the change that they did from the original Japanese male character to now Yasuke. They said that Ubisoft was heavily influenced by the socio-political events of the time, with stuff like, and no I'm not kidding, George Floyd dying, the riots, and Black Lives Matter exploding in support. So don't shoot the messenger here. But this is what I was told by this source, but Ubisoft may have opted to include Yasuke in order to pander to identity politics because of Black Lives Matter.
Keep your politics out my motherfucking games.
I know, it's a hell of a statement. Again, they said they cannot confirm 100%, but they did say that they have seen the original Japanese hero character, and that they were actually mortified when they saw Yasuke for the first time in the game. Apparently, one of the videos that Ubisoft was showing of Yasuke originally, and no I'm not kidding you, was Yasuke destroying a grocery store property with his weapons in order to show the game's physics engine. But the source said that they couldn't believe how tone-deaf Ubisoft was, considering they were literally showing a black guy in a foreign country destroying property. This lack of knowing what to do with shadows was all over the game, and like I said, Yasuke was inserted for identity political reasons.
I feel like I really actually I'm pretty sure that once they showed when they decided to show the game physics in the game by having Yasuke or Yasuke destroy a little food spot, a food area. Like I'm pretty sure they were like, huh? Look at that, yeah. How you like that? Is that yeah? You like that? That's good, right? Yeah. Look at those physics, yeah. While being completely tone deaf and not just seeing you have a black guy in a foreign country just destroying shit. So it's like Ubisoft is trying to destroy or help harm the reputation of black people in Japanese eyes. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to visit Japan one day. I don't need people destroying black reputation before I can go and visit Japan and enjoy the country and absorb the country and the culture, you know, and learn about the company and learn about the culture and learn about the country. Like, I don't need people doing that. Like, keep your Johnny Smollys need to stay stay the fuck out Japan. That one guy was I think his name was it's something probably. It's Scam Likely. I think that's what his name was when he went to Japan just to clap cheeks and was basically just trying to make a bunch of single moms and leave, and then he ended up catching like STDs and shit while he was there. I don't need people like them going into Japan, and I don't need companies like Ubisoft putting black characters in Japanese countries just destroying shit for the sake of what? I don't need that shit. I don't need Japanese people looking at me when I go over there and being like, oh shit, he's probably gonna destroy some shit. He's probably just trying to make some single moms, or he's probably just trying to be a complete asshole to all Japanese people. I don't need that shit. Come on, man.
The source also said that Ubisoft was horrified by the response to Yasuke from the fandom, and they actually thought including him would be a really big selling point for the game.
Fuck no.
They apparently believed by inserting Yasuke that they could garner and pander to the modern audience, which is cringe. But yes, these studios are still trying to pander to these groups that, like I've said so many times, they literally do not exist. Another very damning allegation I was told by sources was that compared to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that Shadows has only about 7% the pre-order numbers of Valhalla during the same time period. Yes, you heard that right, guys. 7% of Valhalla. So that other reports where Stuttering Craig, a side-scroller, said Shadows only had about 800 physical pre-orders over about 900 plus stores in America. He is telling the truth, my friends. So it's pretty evident that Ubisoft delayed the game not only due to backlash, but because they were getting next to nothing pre-order wise when compared to Valhalla, or even Mirage even. I don't have exact concrete numbers on Valhalla's pre-orders prior to launch. However, remember that Valhalla is Ubisoft's second most profitable game of all time, and it's only beaten by Rainbow Six Siege. So Shadows currently, as of the making of this video, or like a month ago I guess, has about 7% of that, if you can believe it.
Holy shit.
I was also told that Ubisoft has made Shadows the most microtransaction-filled experience from launch compared to any other previous title that they have ever released in the franchise.
What is it with companies and wanting to have so many microtransactions? What is it with gaming companies and their fetish for microtransactions? Like when it comes to gaming companies and their microtransactions, this is what I think of gaming companies and their love for microtransactions.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that?
What's that, brother?
What's that, brother?
Keep that shit out. Stop. Stop. Ugh, brother, ugh. Fuck is that shit?
So we're talking loads of DLC armor, weapons, mounts, trinkets, etc. for both characters, all for premium costs. Which of course is nonsense because the game is full price at launch, but they actually thought, according to my source, that Shadows would be doing better than Valhalla, and no, I am not kidding. Besides the abysmal pre-orders, the thing that actually spooked Ubisoft more than anything else was how Japan reacted to the one-legged Torigate figurine. Remember that's the merchandise product where Yasuke and Naoe are standing on a symbol of Nagasaki getting the atom bomb dropped on them? Yet these characters take place in Japan, well before that even happens. And
oh my god. How oh my god. Yo, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be mad if Ubisoft, you know, collapses. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? If Ubisoft collapses, I might actually celebrate. I've been trying to stay away from alcohol, you know. I mean, I don't really drink like that anymore. But if Ubisoft collapses, you know what I'm saying, I might have a bottle here. We might have to have a little celebration. You know what I'm saying? We might have to, you know, have a live stream celebration and just, you know, enjoy some good shit. You know what I'm saying? But
this culturally devastating piece that proved that Ubisoft was not adequate enough to make the game or really know anything about the time period, it led to the higher-ups admitting defeat and demanding that the game get a cultural do-over, if you will. They wanted things to be more authentic because the one-legged Torigate incident was so embarrassing and baffling that they didn't want anything else like that to ever happen again in their history. So that's another big reason for you. As of now, from what I've been told, February 2025 is being chosen because Ubisoft believes there will be a AAA gaming drought around that time period. So they're hoping that they can capitalize by releasing Shadows then instead of November 15th, which was its original release date. Even though there are plenty of games coming around that time, like Monster Hunter Wilds will release in that same period, which makes me believe that Ubisoft will indeed push the game even further back than intended. One of the things for sure getting removed from Shadows, according to my source.
Yo, this guy's about to fall. This guy should be falling over dying. Like with that armor in the snow, winter like that. No, this guy's dead. He's not gonna. He shouldn't be able to make it two or three more steps. He should just start falling over and dying.
Sources is indeed the rap hip-hop music for Yasuke. Apparently, Ubisoft brought out a questionnaire and they were unanimously told that the rap music was tonally wrong and completely unneeded, and that it was actually offensive that Ubisoft believed Yasuke needed a hip-hop battle theme in a game that was set well before such music existed, and it was only implemented because Yasuke was black, so that's going to be gone for sure.
Oops.
They're also...
Of course. It was like, he's black, right? Hey, guess who likes rap music? Black people. Yeah. How about we put some of that rap music in Yasuke's background every time he's fighting? Yeah. How's that? If Ubisoft collapses, we should have a party and celebration. It'll be a good time.
Also removing dialogue from the game that, according to my source, told me that it would actually enrage players if they heard it. I wasn't given concrete examples of what kind of dialogue, but the source assumed it may have been Yasuke saying some sort of socio-political pandering nonsense about how he was sold by white men or something, and that he hates white men and white supremacy must be abolished and such. They're also removing this because, of course,
sounds like something Sweet Baby Inc. told them to say. You know, because members of Sweet Baby Inc. they hate white people. If you didn't know, now you know. Sweet Baby Inc. really hates white people. They do. It's a company of racist people that don't like white people, or more specifically, or definitely cis white males. They don't like them. They're racist towards them.
If that were in the game, it would absolutely be highlighted and used to detract even more people from supporting the game in the future. Also during development, one of the hardest things to implement for Ubisoft apparently was the parry system, according to sources. And allegedly, Shadows was also going to be the last game in the series that would feature the RPG-like gameplay mechanics that started in Origins. and that future releases would instead go back to what the series was most known for, which was more of an action-adventure style. Just look at Unity or, Assassin's Creed 2, that kind of thing instead. With stuff like the more timed combat of the original and such, and apparently the RPG stuff is very difficult to implement, and Ubisoft wants to lessen the load, as they say, in future games. I was also told that the next Assassin's Creed, which is called Hexe or Hexe, which is set during the Salem witch trials, was being internally claimed, and get this, to be the gayest Assassin's Creed yet.
Yo, this company is really trying to bring about their own downfall. First, before Assassin's Creed Shadows had any sense of whether it was going to do good or not, any sense of success, they thought it was going to do great, obviously, because as we've already heard, they're like, oh, bringing in Yasuke would be a great selling point, and let's give him some rap music, and let's just make all these terrible decisions and choices that nobody wants in the game, but we're gonna put it in there, and then having to push the game back and all this other bullshit. But before even thinking, even knowing if Assassin's Creed Shadows was gonna have a good take and good sales, they already decided that, hey, after that, you know what we should do? Assassin's Creed codename Hexe. It'll be the gayest Assassin's Creed. It'll be great. Let's be real. Nobody wants to play that bullshit. And it's not like because they hate gay people. It's just, who the fuck wants to play that shit? Like, who wants that game? Who wants that game? It's no wonder your company's been doing shit. It's no wonder your company is on the verge of breaking down. It's no wonder your company's on the verge of going bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? Just okay. Ubisoft, whoever is making the call to make these type of games and do all this type of shit, you should go and take a very long vacation. Just go take a vacation. And you know what? While you're on that vacation, just forget you even have a job. Just forget you even have a job, and just don't come back. Just take a vacation. Go to some other country. And you know what? Shit, maybe something good will happen in that country, and you just won't be able to leave the country. You know, maybe you'll find love in that country. Or maybe you'll discover something so amazing in that country that you just want to stay there, and then you end up forgetting that you have a job with Ubisoft, and you lose your contacts to Ubisoft, and just leave, just leave. That's all you gotta do. And everyone else who thinks the same way you do that works for Ubisoft also just do the same thing. Just go.
I'm told that it only has a single female protagonist, and it's also the most fantastical Assassin's Creed yet. There will be lots of mysticism, and will also have, as they said, very striking visuals. I don't know if that means an entirely different art style or anything, but this is what I was told. It will still be an open world action game like the other ones, but from what I've been told, it is the biggest departure yet for the series. My sources claim that Hexe or Hexe, whatever it's called, is very, very female power oriented. We are talking lots of lesbian relationships and female characters. It has witch covens and apparently very little masculine presence within the game. Although my sources told me that they believe that the game will be scaled down in the future and then made into a Liberation-esque game instead of a mainline title. If you know the one that had, the smaller games. Anyway, let's keep going. Mostly because Ubisoft does not have confidence that Hexe will sell well at all, and this too was put into development when a lot of these pandering games were first being pitched or made. Internally, as I was being told, the pandering games were first being...
Is that a dick? This game is dick. Hey yo, man, this game is ass. Man, this game is worse than ass. This game ain't just ass. This game is dick.
Being pitched or made. Internally, as I was being told, the developers behind Hexe joked that the game will indeed piss off the fan base, but they wanted to make it anyway. I assume because the game is devoid of male characters, besides of course the ones you probably kill or hunt. And like I said, it's going to
I bet all the bad guys that you kill are gonna be male, are gonna be cis white male guys.
have borderline magic at this point in the Assassin's Creed series, so expect lots of weird Isu gobbledygook, I guess, as well, but that's what I was told about Hexe so far. They also told me that there's not a chance in hell that Ubisoft doesn't go bankrupt, and that Ubisoft's backup plan, if they were to get a bailout, or if things were to turn around so that they could actually, exist in the future and not just immediately cease all operations, would be to immediately shift all gears and then remake the original Assassin's Creed game, which is apparently not in development right now. And they also will pivot and just remake the entire Ezio trilogy as well, in order to just garner goodwill and get the support from the players again. These sources also...
I don't know if that would work, because like gamers are already aware of your bullshit. They've already got their opinions of you made, and it's pretty hard to change an opinion once you destroyed the trust that you've built with them over so much time. And so once you fuck it up, people are less likely to give you a second chance, especially when it comes to creating something that they love so much. It's like, yeah, they might try to remake, the first Assassin's Creed and the Ezio trilogy, but they're probably gonna try to make it super woke and just not tell anybody until the game is released. Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna trust them. Nah.
Believe that Hexe will likely never see the light of day, but if it does, they will be actually shocked if it's not cancelled, or at the very least reduced dramatically in scope. I'm also told that many game studios are aware of Gamergate 2, and while they fear the implications of being caught in that war, that many studios have no desire or will to change their games to appeal to core audiences anymore. According to my sources, and this was one of the most damning allegations, so please listen carefully here.
All right, what's up?
Is that the game industry, across plenty of studios, will start to market their games as being devoid of identity politics and pandering almost completely. However, the actual content within these games in the future will not be altered or lessened in terms of identity political content, despite this tonal change in marketing. Simply put, many studios and publishers are still all in on DEI and wokeness in the future. Like, they are not changing that. And they still want you to consume this content whether you want to or not, but they will now sell you the games by marketing them to you to trick you into thinking that they're not woke, basically. And then
yeah, that's why I just got through saying with how they might remake Assassin's Creed in the Ezio trilogy. They're gonna make it woke without telling you. So yep, yeah, nah, bro, nah, son. Yeah, now we can go ahead and just I would like to start a vote. Let's go ahead and completely just separate ourselves as gamers from Ubisoft and anything they have to release in the future. We can just make that separation, just clean cut. You know what I'm saying? It's like going through a breakup with a bad ex, an abusive ex. Just we don't want to be in that relationship anymore. We can just cut them clean. We can just leave it at that. We don't need to be with them anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Then you will buy it, and then sometime into these future experiences, all the wokeness, I guess, will reveal itself, and then you will be probably too far into these games in order to refund them, and then these studios and publishers will then make their money. I asked my sources if they were sure of this. They said that they were, and that this is damning. So it looks like we're about to be getting some 4D chess moves from the industry soon, so expect a lot of deceiving marketing tactics that will be tricking you into buying games that you wouldn't normally buy yourself. So if we didn't stay vigilant enough before, we definitely have to in the future, it seems.
Yep. Let's just make a clean break. We don't have to, you know what I'm saying, be in that relationship with Ubisoft anymore. If they're gonna try to use trickery in order to get us to buy and play their games, in order to be tricked in into playing some woke bullshit that we can't refund because we've already played too much of it. Nah, bro, I ain't trying to waste my money. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do that just to fatten up their pockets. Nah, fuck them. Nah, bro. We can just make that clean break.
Was also told that Ubisoft internally wants to make games that will, as I wrote in my big info doc here that I'm referencing from, they want female characters to dominate the world and the games industry. Like, they want every game that they make to feature female protagonists in leading roles and lots of diversity, and little to no white men at all within lead roles anymore. They hoped that, according to my sources, that if they did this, that the game industry would all follow in suit. And this is basically being done because they want to erase masculinity from gaming altogether. I wish I was kidding, but hey, this is what my sources were telling me. So take that as you will, fellas.
Yep. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. Ubisoft will try to do some shit like that, and then indie developers that don't follow suit, indie developers are about to become the best-selling game developers of all time, because they will make games that people actually want to play instead of games that pander to the woke community and just, you know, lose money. And they won't be trying to trick you. They'll just be trying to, you know, they'll have a passion in the game that they're creating, and they'll just want to make good games that everybody would inherently want to play just because the game was good. And so individual, like these individual developers, these solo creators of games, they are about to have these smaller companies are about to have some of the greatest best-selling games simply because of bullshit that things like Ubisoft is trying to implement in their games, the bullshit that they're trying to peddle us, and the trickery that they've got planned to peddle if we don't, or if these other games flop. You know what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time. Yo, what up? Appreciate the follow. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Ubisoft goes completely bankrupt and indie devs just start making bank. Like they grow and start having the best games in the world. So if other companies follow Ubisoft's ideal, then it's only a matter of time before people are like, oh, a major company's making a game? Yeah, I'm not gonna play it. Oh shit, the indie devs are making a game? Hell yes, I'm playing that shit. It's only a matter of time, yo. I'm doing pretty good. How's your day going? I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, all the above. You feel me?
Also told that the project that ruined Ubisoft was not actually Outlaws or Shadows. It was actually Skull and Bones. My sources told me they have seen multiple different versions of the
I'm not really doing music reacts right now, and the camera is flipped for this scene for a certain reason.
Game.
Thank you for letting me know, though.
Completely different over the years. They said that they were told that the budget that was spent on Skull and Bones, it ranged somewhere from $650 to $850 million over 10 years. And that Skull and Bones failed so badly for Ubisoft, it was the actual reason why they're dying the way that they are right now. It's not actually Outlaws and Shadows, if you can believe it. So they sunk a legendary amount of resources into that game, and it clearly did not work out for them at all. They actually believed that Outlaws and Shadows would be the games to pull them out of financial ruin after what happened with Skull and Bones. So in terms of Star Wars Outlaws, and this is crazy, I was told that Ubisoft was devastated internally by the sales in response to Outlaws, and that they actually thought that they would make, and no, I am not kidding, they thought Outlaws would do, as my sources tell me, Red Dead Redemption 2 levels of profit. The game was actually internally being called during development as Red Dead Star Wars.
Bruh, hell
they
nah.
thought they had a mega multiple franchise spin-off series in the works that would change the industry for the better in their opinion. I was also told at one time that the original pitch for Outlaws was actually a Mandalorian game. So, Massive is the studio that made Outlaws. They also made the Division games too. Apparently, the original vision for Outlaws was the Division, but instead of agents, each player was their own Mandalorian instead. And there would be multiple Mandalorian families and crests, and you could swear your allegiance to whoever you wanted to. And the idea was to have this multiple world spanning galaxy, always online action RPG adventure game where you could tackle bounties and quests with your friends or by yourself as your own fully customizable Mandalorian. You could find new pieces of gear, like in The Division, and then swap out your guns for different stats and, make your own builds. And there would be endgame content where you and your friends could jetpack around and fight in third-person cover-based shooting like Division, but obviously it's Star Wars. This sounded amazing to me. I don't know why they didn't do it, but maybe it was too ambitious, I guess. And eventually Massive would then shelve the idea and instead went all in on Criminal Empire stuff, and then they reduced their vision of the game into a solo single-player game that you know now. Also, from its inception, Outlaws was...
So yeah, it sounded too good to be true, and that's why it was too good to be true, and they decided to fuck it over.
Always intended to have a female main character too. Originally, as I was told, Kay Vess was actually an Indian woman, but they eventually brought on Humberly Gonzalez to play the character, but Ubisoft internally didn't want Kay Vess to be fully Latina either. So they ended up with this weird mix of a character that they wanted to pass as vaguely every ethnicity possible.
What?
And that was actually intended by design.
What?
It was referred to, as my source said, as an omni-racial main character. So if you're wondering why Kay Vess doesn't look fully white, Latino, Asian, Black, whatever, now you know. They literally made the most ethnically ambiguous main character they could. Apparently Massive was chosen for Outlaws by Ubisoft because the Division game sold well, and they wanted to make Massive their new premier studio, so to speak.
Once again, one more time, once again.
Brother, What's that?
What's that?
What's that, brother?
I just had to do it one more time.
Well, like I said, originally, they wanted all of their games to star women of color or diversity, whatever, with little to no white men at all. This is why Shadows has Naoe and no male option, and black characters, even male ones, are considered on par with importance to Ubisoft in terms of female representation or diversity. Black men are seen as a priority to push in franchises over white men too, according to what I've been told. So if you're wondering why everything they've made recently is so diverse and checks all the boxes, you're not being crazy, it's all being done by design. Also, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was a massive loss for Ubisoft as well, but they saw the game more as a beta test for the Snowdrop engine, and for Massive to familiarize themselves with open world sandbox style games. And they were...
Bro, like, when it comes to this DEI shit and this woke bullshit and this, like, female empowerment shit, like, I don't care, but as long as it's not forced into games and franchises that I love. Like, make your own games, start your own franchises, leave alone the shit that I've already known and loved and trusted. Leave that alone. Make your own type. Start a new franchise. Start your new shit. Put that in there, and go forth with that, and see how well you can make it work. Because personally, I've already stopped watching shows and movies that have female leads, just because there's all this shit that's being forced into it, all this woke bullshit that's being forced into it. So I've already stopped watching female led movies and shows, and now they're trying to put that in games as well. So I guess the amount of games I'm gonna play is going to be I'm not going to include them. It's not that the amount of games I play is gonna be limited. It's just that I'm gonna play other games and focus more on indie devs, because these other companies are trying to destroy themselves and self-implode. So I don't know, man. Like it's a bunch of bullshit. That's what I'm saying.
Hoping that while Avatar failed, that they could use their newfound expertise and experience to turn their next game, which was Outlaws, into Ubisoft's Red Dead Redemption-like experience, which is still insane, but that's what they thought.
And real quick, this is also why I stopped watching American shows and movies for the most part. And I've started watching more foreign television, simply because they don't really, at least not yet. Hopefully they don't, but they don't really have that woke push, political or pandering message and type of bullshit in their movies and TV shows. So I started watching a lot more foreign films and shows instead. And I'm probably gonna start playing more foreign video games and shit instead as well.
They actually thought that Outlaws was as good as Red Dead internally. This is what I was told, man. But yeah, that is... oh god, that is crazy. Some more random things I was told was that Far Cry 6 broke even. It did make some profit, but it actually didn't perform the way that Ubisoft intended it to. And that their next games that are coming out, which I'm not allowed to say because my sources told me to not say them, they said the future games that Ubisoft has for 2025 and 26, assuming that, you know, they make it that far, are even less impressive than Outlaws or Shadows, and based on what they were telling me about them, I believe them. There is a lot of slop coming in the future from Ubisoft if they make it to those release dates. They also had some information on Ghost of YOKAI, and they'll be giving me more in the future once they find more out, but apparently Ghost of YOKAI blindsided many people that were working at Sony who were not made aware of what Sucker Punch was making. And that people in the mid-levels at Sony were actually confused when YOKAI was announced because they were under the impression that Jin Sakai would be getting a sequel, and they are not happy at all when it comes to the response of that game either internally at Sony right now. Like I said, I should hopefully have more on YOKAI eventually, but finally my source told me that Ubisoft has a massive labor problem right now, and that the actual workforce at their studios that they own are largely incompetent and full of diversity hires and women, which were hired in order to check boxes. Because many of these hires, according to the sources, were brought...
Yo, what up, Does Thing? This is Assassin's Creed Shadows Insider exposes Ubisoft. Yasuke is apparently being erased, and they're talking about how Ubisoft is going broke, and there's other secrets revealed, like Ubisoft is planning things like to... They have another Assassin's Creed game that they plan to release after this Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's gonna be called Assassin's Creed Hexe, and they're calling it the gayest Assassin's Creed ever. It's supposed to be heavily female based and almost no men unless you're killing them. And if that game does bad, or if it has to be downsized into like a little liberation type game or whatever, then they're planning to start making games that are marketed to the masses, but after a certain amount of playing time, to the point in which you can't return the game, then that's when the woke type of gameplay will reveal itself. And by then, if you can't return it, you're just stuck with it. You're done. But right now, he's talking about this game called Ghost of YOKAI, I think, and he doesn't know much about it, but he's gonna let us know once he knows more about it. But I did see that Dash Blue has a video about Ghost of YOKAI. I think that's what it's called. But so I might have to check that out and see what it's about. Point of view: what sexist feminism and big bad girl bosses who don't need no man did to society. Facts, bro. This is pretty much it. They're really trying to force their woke agenda upon the gaming community. And in turn, they are basically self-destructing and destroying their own company. So I suggest, what I'm going to suggest is that if a game is made by Ubisoft, don't buy it, don't give it any attention, don't cater to it in any way, shape, or form. And instead, when Ubisoft self-implodes and goes bankrupt and has to close down, I suggest we have a party in celebration, in order to make this a show to other companies that if they follow in the tracks of Ubisoft, we will also celebrate their downfall when they have to close and go bankrupt.
In to diversify the development teams. The actual talent level over at Ubisoft is apparently far lower than it was even 10 years ago.
Imperial
Most
Music.
key talent has already left the company completely, and this has led to huge internal problems with dev teams and what they're making right now. There's apparently way too many junior level people and not enough seniors to teach them how to properly do things. And what ends up happening is that Ubisoft tends to outsource a lot of their development to other countries and their dev teams to help them, because the actual teams that Ubisoft has right now are really bad at their jobs. Apparently, this is what I'm told. My sources also told me that
Well, of course
many
they're
of
bad
the
at jobs. They
things
keep
people like
making
Grump
shitty
say,
games.
or the things that I assume when I make my videos, are actually not bleak enough. And that the game industry in general is, as they said to me, on fire in every conceivable way, and things are so much worse internally than we even know right now.
Holy
These
shit.
sources also told me that the people they know from various
Good.
studios ranging from all the usual AAA studios that you know of, that there is a massive, and I can't stress this enough, but a massive problem with witch hunting and identity politics in gaming. And that it's to the point where nobody can question anything, and there's a lot of what's being called these days in the news as toxic positivity, and this is absolutely 100% the case. If you're accused of not supporting the current narrative, you are being essentially torn apart as if you're living in a cult pretty much in these studios now. And that this toxic positivity has been getting referenced all over online, and it's literally killing games before they even come out now. If you're wondering why every game from Western studios seems to be pandering or putting women in them like crazy and so on, I'm told you're not crazy at all actually. In fact, you're just recognizing patterns that have been going on for a very long time at this point.
Bruh, what is it? Like, companies really have right now, gaming companies have a fetish with trying to end themselves. They have a fetish with self-deletion right now. They're trying to destroy their own company. They're trying to ruin lives of their employees. And they're trying, like, people are already having problems with jobs, and now they're trying to make sure that everybody has a problem getting a job, because these companies are trying to make sure that they shut down and that people can't work for them either. Like, what is it with companies trying to self-implode and destroy themselves, bruh? Yes, I know my camera is upside down. It's for a reason. In that scene, I'm waiting for people will figure it out eventually. If they don't, then oh well. But people will figure it out eventually. Twitter be like, so females can't go protagonists in video games? Oh, so only women should be the main characters in video games. Now, okay, see, here's what if I ever made a game, I'm gonna make a transgender female be like the main villain in the game and see how they like it. I don't really do music reactions right at all. You cancel? You're canceled. You sexist motherfucker. Gaming companies laying off all of their hard workers and shutting down. Be like, yeah, that's pretty much what they're trying to do. They're trying to force their own shutdown and destroy themselves. I don't know why they want to destroy themselves and stop making money. The trans is the villain. The discrimination. Hey, I will if I ever get the chance to make that game, I'm gonna laugh so hard at what people say, at what people are angry about. I'm gonna be laughing so fucking hard. Has aneurysm right through the tweet comments. Oh my god, bro, it's gonna be hilarious.
My sources also told me that people within Western studios will oust you if you go against the narrative even remotely, and that this witch hunting is being used in order to usurp senior level talent so that new hires with little experience can actually crawl into these way more lucrative and powerful positions that they have no business being in the first place. And this has now led to more people like them who think the same way as them getting hired, and that this stagnation of talent and creativity is permeating all throughout a large amount of Western studios right now. So if you think the industry is cooked now, it's in fact far more worse apparently than you could even hope to imagine. But this is what I got for you so far. To reiterate, Yasuke was implemented solely due to identity politics. Black Lives Matter movements were an inspiration apparently for the character being included in the first place. He was not there originally. There was actually a fully completed Japanese male main character model somewhere in Ubisoft right now that they're not using. Ubisoft wants all their games to feature female protagonists, and they want the industry to completely reject white men in every single way. There's witch hunting across the entire...
Ubisoft really sounds like the whoever is the main person in Ubisoft that's deciding what games should be made and how they should be made. It sounds like they're secretly a member of Sweet Baby Inc. It's really terrible.
Entire industry. Outlaws was believed to be Ubisoft's Red Dead Redemption franchise in terms of quality and sales, and they were so deluded they actually thought it was going to be that. There's thousands of incompetent people in positions just wasting salaries and ruining your favorite games on purpose, Disingenuous marketing tactics will be implemented in the future to ensure you buy their games, but the actual content of said games will not be changing in any way. They are basically trying to own the chuds, as they would call it, and the Western industry, for the most part, are very, very, very identity politically driven right now, and there's no signs of it stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, in short, do not buy Ubisoft games.
Ubisoft will likely 100% go under no matter what, unless they are given some sort of bailout to operate at a limited capacity in the future, as I'm told. The only way that I can see this happening personally is either foreign investment, or the Canadian government, since Ubisoft's main operations are in Canada, bails them out or something. Which means that my taxes could be used to save Ubisoft for a time, which radicalizes me like you don't even know, makes my blood boil, but here we are. Assassin's Creed Hexe, or Hexe, will be the gayest, most woman, lesbian-driven game ever conceived by Ubisoft yet, and it will be a girl power fantasy game unlike you've ever seen before, and Skull and Bones is a major reason why they're dying the way that they are right now. I think that about covers it. I will likely have more in the future, we'll see, but for now, that is plenty enough for one video. I think we can all agree. Please spread the word of what was said here. Maybe if more people see this video, more sources will then contact me in the future. If you have any info, please email me or DM me on Twitter. All of that info is in the description box below or in the pinned comment. Thank you.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Hey, you know what? Let Ubisoft do what they do, because when they downfall, when they go bankrupt, when they have to shut down, that'll be cause for celebration. And you know what I'm saying? Break out the weed, break out the liquor. We're gonna party that on that day, bruh. For real. Just every single character, right? The game has lesbians. Exactly. Like it's the only male characters in the Assassin's Creed Hexe. The only male characters will be the ones that are getting killed, the bad guys. That's what I'm guessing. Other than that, it's just gonna have a bunch of women, a bunch of lesbians. It's gonna be the gayest Assassin's Creed, bruh. Oh my god. And then of course they're planning to after that, they're planning to market games in a way that appeal to the masses, you know, games that we would actually want to play, but then hide the woke bullshit in a point of the game that's past the resale, the refund period. Like, you know how like on Steam, you have 2 weeks or a certain amount of time before you can refund a game if you don't like it? They're planning on making sure that the woke bullshit is hidden past that 2-week notice, so that you can't refund the game. You're just gonna be stuck with it. Right, one male character, the lesbian army defeats the white males. That's pretty much what they're going for, bruh. And Ubisoft, as well as Sweet Baby Inc., are really showing their racist flag, bro. They hate white men, it seems. And it's like, what the fuck? It's not okay to be racist towards white people, because racism in itself is not okay. Like, I don't know why people think this is a good thing. I don't know what got it in their minds that it's okay to do this kind of thing. No, it's not. It's not. So when if I finally get to make my game, I'm gonna make sure there's a black transgender non-binary person as the main villain. Actually, all the main villains and sub-villains will be transgenders or members of the alphabet community. All of them will be the villains. And then when people say I'm not being inclusive enough, what are you talking about not being inclusive enough? I have every member of the alphabet community in the game. Yeah, but they're all villains. Yeah, it feels like real life, doesn't it? But anyway, have all of them the same family. Facts. Incest in the morning. But as far as this reaction goes, that's the end of this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Ubisoft and their push for, their hatred for white men, first off, and their push to pretty much hide their woke bullshit in their future games at a point where you can't refund it. And what do you think about the Assassin's Creed Hexe game? And what do you think about their plans for replacing, or what the rumor about replacing Yasuke, and with the original Japanese male that they had in the beginning? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But for now, as always, don't forget to check out ENDYMIONtv. Link to his video and this channel, or his channel, will both be in the description below. So visit him, and don't forget to do those 3 things I like to ask you to do while you're there. And like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that. In case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace, and much love to you.